Hello and welcome back to another session of serde-yaml. It's Byron speaking. And in the previous session, we have just dealt with these examples that kind of show what kind of serialization style or deserialization style is supported for various types. I'm not sure how to specify this. Certainly some sort of schema is required to say, well, Booleans will now be looking like that. And when parsing that back, I know there must be some sort of handler that is able to identify this scalar value here and form it into a Boolean or something. And right now I have no clue how that would be done. But hey, it's okay. We are getting even deeper into that area or into that zone where I have really no idea by looking at these explicit tags here. So I'm not sure how I should manufacture this. Maybe using the canonical tag, this could work, but I have no idea how to produce a binary here. For instance, which seems to be hex. No, it's not hex encoded. It's UU64 or something. Whenever it ends with a equality sign here, equality character. This a special kind of encoding, maybe UU encode. Let's see, is it UU encode? Wiki UU encode. Let's see. Just need to see it once. No, that doesn't end. That doesn't end in anything like that. Or base 64, maybe it's base 64. Huh? What do you say? Okay, so that looks a bit like base 64. Is there an English version with maybe better examples? Not that it would matter, right? Why am I even looking at this? Oh yeah, so it's base 64 encoded. Interesting. Yeah, I have no idea how that works. Probably the encoding of binary of the global namespace is defined there. So hey, if it's binary data, then it needs to be base 64 encoded. That's how that works, I guess. But anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, I think maybe different for different documents. Yeah, I have no idea. So these double colons, I think they are the shortcuts to the global. Not double colons, double exclamation marks are accessing the global namespace. And these ones access the local namespace, and it is possible to kind of set this global tag, which makes all the document local tags relative to this setup global tag. I think this is that. So tags and schemas and whatnot, this is all stuff I currently have no idea how to deal with. So yeah, that's 223. We start off with the value. Like that. And I'm starting to get hungry already. And it's just 10:30. Amazing. That's gonna be bad. So that's that one. What do I say here? We can't I don't think we can serialize this because we can't add metadata. We don't have a callback mechanism either to be able to have a per key interpretation of the type that this thing should have. I have no idea. Also, all the type stuff is something I don't know how to handle here. Yeah, no idea. So Yeah, I think this should panic. No, wait, we will review this, so it shouldn't panic. 23. Have no idea how explicit tags work during serialization, if at all. I think that's the main point I want to make here. So let's see how that looks like. Looks good. Good, next one. Global tags, kind of the same thing, but different. And we even have, in this example, anchors, which could be interesting for deserialization because in theory, this should work somehow. We could copy the value in there. I think this could be possible to have deserialization support because I'd really want that, because having anchors can be very, very useful for certain kinds of configuration files. And even though serialization is an entirely different beast, deserialization is something I would want to support somehow for this. But anyway, so here all we can do, again, because I don't know how to configure the Python serializer accordingly, yeah, no idea at all. And the documentation, forget it. I guess all that's left here is to just output it as a string, as we did so many times recently, because we are entering kind of advanced YAML that not too many people use, I suppose. Even though we have to at least understand it so that we can make the conscious decision of whether or not we want to support this particular feature. Good, 24 global tags. I think I want to review this. How to handle global tags during serialization. I don't know. And he is done. Awesome. Let's schedule the upload. But besides that, let's keep going. So global tags we have, right? This should be working now. I think I didn't build it yet, just for testing purposes. Now the next one, unordered set. That's an interesting one. Because I think we should support that natively. The problem here is that if you want to compare strings for equality, we would be in trouble, as this depends on the implementation, and I don't know if that also depends on memory layout or some stuff that we can't control at all. But I would like to be able to say, well, if it's a set, we say it's a set instead of a list or something. And there's the question of whether we actually have this kind of information or not. Because if we look at the serialize implementation, is it there for B-tree set? Yes, it's there for B-tree set. And for, okay, the B-tree set and a hash set, what's the difference? Maybe there's an ordering here. But the actual question is, how is it implemented? So let's look at it. Because we are only getting... Where is this implementation? Oh, maybe it's an impl, huh? Impl serde B-tree set. Here it is. Serialize. So for him, it's just a sequence. And that's the point here. As we have to rely on the callbacks we get from the serialize implementation, we don't know anything about that. We have no idea that this call originates from a set, Therefore, we have no way to add the respective tag. And this is something, if this is supposed to be supported, then there needs to be a custom implementation for serialize, and the guy making this must kind of cast the serializer to a YAML structure. And all this information is totally unknown. You can't ask for the kind of type that you want to serialize here. And, all this, basically downcasts are nothing that are easily done in Rust. That's for sure. And with this interface, that will also not work. So I have no idea what to do here. And yeah. Except for passing, saying probably we can't do this. Yeah, I think I would right now say probably we can't do this, but I will review it once I know more. And whenever I have reviewed something and concluded that we indeed can't do this, then we should add it to the limitations and deviations from the spec or something. Yeah, so just for my own, just so that I don't forget about that, let's just speak it out loud. So that's 25. Unordered sets. And this should also fail right now. We can't handle unordered sets, as to us they look like a sequence. So when deserializing this, it's gonna be the only way we can do this is that the reader knows that it's gonna be a set. This is how it's gonna be. So because you can say, well, let's deserialize this into a particular type, and then you can do it. But that's the only thing, I guess. So 225. So for serialization, I see no chance there. Yeah, should I mark it with review or something? No, all the failing tests have to be fixed anyway, in some way. And it can also be fixed if we say should fail. Unordered mappings. Same thing here. I don't think we have ordered mappings. I don't think we have ordered mappings at all. So that should fail. But we could generally ask ourselves, how can we add tags or schemas? How does that work? Does it work at all in Rust? I have the feeling that it doesn't work in Rust or in Serd the way it's implemented right now. So yeah, actually this stuff, yeah, we probably never deal with that anyway. For now, I mean not for serialization, so that means we can also take these comments in. And yeah, if the comment should be a problem, we can handle this. So let's put it in. 26. I think I will have to pause the session real quick, but we'll be back in a moment. So this is the continuation of the previous session, which is in fact still in progress, right? Otherwise it wouldn't be a continuation. So I think we have finished 2.2.5 and are now doing 2.2.6, which I kind of prepared here already. even though I just copied this. So here we can't handle, yeah, there are no ordered mappings. There are no ordered mappings in Rust. And if there were, we probably wouldn't know about them. So it's the same problem as with the sequence. And if so, you wouldn't know. So yeah, I can probably keep, I mean, this problem with not knowing about that, I think it's something we can't easily fix, but we might as well say we want to review this because we can possibly adjust serde in order to support that. Possibly, that is something I can't judge right now, and it's something I don't have to decide as well. But for basic serialization to YAML, we are in a good spot for that. We just might not be able to support all of the features that YAML provides to us. Good, so that is that. I guess I should be able to build this now. I don't know. 24, 25, and 26 showing up. Yes, there it is. And that works. That works by failing. That's good. So now the full-length example is awesome. Below there are two full-length examples of YAML. On the left is a simple invoice, on the right a simple log file. So this kind of shows the multi-document features that we have with implied document endings. That's good. However, yeah, I think serializing this would be difficult just because I have no idea how to specify top level tags here. But and also we can't have anchors right now, not during serialization. But this is something we should be able to deserialize. So I guess we take it in as an example and pick it up later once we know what to do with that. D is da-da-da, da-da-da. And this. And last but not least, what should we say about that? We could possibly serialize that, but not with anchors. I think this is that. So that should possibly fail for good. Should panic. Should panic. Even though this might work, we can't support anchors during serialization. And even in Python, I wouldn't know how to add a tag there. So, by the way, anchors. Do I mention this somewhere? And what do I do? Should panic. Anchors are not supported. Neither they seem supported by YAML. Okay, this might be something I want to review at some point. Maybe anchors can be supported, but that really depends on how the callback mechanism works for RC data types. Because I think RC would be the only thing that, RC and args, of course, would be the only thing that would allow us to have some sort of shared ownership, which is exactly the semantics that anchors provide to us. Of course, there's also the notion of shared ownership through borrows, right? And I totally have no idea how that would work. Yeah, so we might have a chance there, but right now I don't see it. So that's 27. Is this completed already? Yes. And now look at that, how many spaces there are. Let's take in all these spaces just because they are there. And that's the last one of the examples. Awesome. Very nice. Much appreciated. Finally. But now the tough stuff starts, because now we have to start eventually implementing this entire serializer. And we still didn't answer certain questions. Oh, yeah, and the JSON stuff, we still are not able to do JSON either. So I think I want to return to this or add some test case that, yeah, I might have a test case for this already, not to forget. But yeah, let's see how we get there and when we will get there. But I still think that we need some sort of style guide for how to say that, for keys, right? For key scalars. Right now we don't have that. So what do I see here? Yeah, the keys, they're always single line, huh? But I think they can be multi-line as well. I might have seen this somewhere at least. So here we have the log file, and then all we want to do is dump this here. And this log file, by the way, this is something we can do. We can totally do that. That's a multi-document thing with optionals in there. So that structure here, time, user warning, user, date, fatal, stack. Okay, so there's something we can do. Yeah. And let's have a look at this. So sometimes we use, yeah, I think this is something we could possibly do, but not like that, because here we have one time the block scalar style literal, and one time it's the standard one, the block scalar style folding, and then folding style. You know, how can I decide whether something should be folding or block? And right now this is once per serializer, and we can't decide that. So we could alter this example here, obviously, to do the right thing. And considering, I mean, look at how this looks like. It's more like showing off what this can do. So I'm kind of inclined to, as a more complex example, actually implement this. So let's do it. Let's just copy this here. Yeah, let's just, oh, we have it already. That's good. But let's create a data structure. So we want to have a list. For each document there is one. And then we go ahead with ordered sets somewhere up there. They should be here because, you know, it's a long time we have last used that. So then it's tuples of key value pairs, and here we have time, which is this beautiful thing. I will just treat it as a string. The date stuff is something that is nothing I want to deal with in Python, at least. And in Rust, it's also something that I don't know about yet. So user is add, and warning is, yeah, so that is just a folded string here, so that will just be one line here. There we go. That's the warning. So the next guy, the next one is this, with time being that. Time is this. Then the user shall be add again. Yes, it's add again. Fortunately, it's not using anchors or anything to deduplicate that on the per field level. Well, it probably makes no sense in this case, if user is just a simple name. And then a warning again, a word of warning, slightly different error message. I thought it's a warning, so why is it an error message then? I'm confused. Make your pick, man. And now the last one, date again. This is a bit more complex. Date shall be this. And user as usual shall be add. And now we have a new key, fatal. That is unknown variable bar. I shall just copy this, and I think that will be just fine in this string. Yes, it is. Now we go ahead with the stack, which is a list of things, which are namely structures, which in our case are represented by an ordered set, like this. And now we go with key value pairs again, and then there's a file and top class.py. Yeah, so YAML might have been created with Ruby, Python, and so in mind, huh? That's how it looks like. So we have line 23, the first non-string here, and code is this one. So that's going to be a raw string then. That looks good. And yeah, we have another ordered dict. Which is, oops, here, file, more class.py, line 58. And the code is, do we need anything special? No, just a string. Foo is bar, huh? That is that. So this indentation is required, but that's not visible in the string. So it's really just this string that matters here. Cool, so that's the structure. We shall serialize it. I think I can kick out this one. Oh yeah, but there's no, there would be tabs, so this should be empty line. Oh no, wait. This means what is the strip behavior? Where is it? That's strip. Stripping is specified by the chomping indicator. In this case, the final line break, and any trailing empty lines are excluded from the scalar content. Okay, so basically this wouldn't be visible anyway. I don't know why they put it there. Good. So that's my D28 log file, and we shall YAML this. And yeah, I don't know what the options say. YAML dump all, right? We want to have a multi-document thing, and we want to pass in options. And yeah, let's just do it. Make this data. Tuple object is not callable. Where code is foobar. Something went wrong here. So that closes that. This is, where is that coming from? This is the outer, that's the documents here. This is the outer dict of the last document. And in there was supposed, okay, this is the list of the stack. This is the tuple. And this is each of the list's items. I don't see it right now. So if he doesn't like that, let's see if he likes this. Let's see where this error is contained. Okay, so now it's this one. So let's remove both. Maybe I see something then. That looks good to me. Oh, now I get it. There we go. Okay, so that worked. Let's see how it looks like. Oh yeah, the width wants to be adjusted. Oops. Width is, and where do we set the folding style? The folding style right now is what? Is folded. I think we want to use, actually we want to use folded, but maybe give it a bit more space. 20. Let's see how it looks like up here. Oops, up here. Yeah, so here we see message and error. Message. Oh. Oh, whoa. Why is this happening now? Why does it spit out time as not as plain anymore? That's weird. It should use plain style, but it doesn't. What happened there? So the only thing we set was default style. This is, but that's the only thing. Do I want to set this to something else? Well, no, folded is fine. Maybe set it to none. Maybe, let's see what he decides if it's not set. Okay, interesting. So now he can decide on his own. Look, it's a multi-line plain string now. Awesome. So the width also affects, it's mainly for the multi-line stuff. So let's relax this a bit. Here we have it, small scalar string value with threshold, no. The other use size, folded block, maximum width hint. Yeah, we could have multiple hints per type, but we can also just one hint, like multi-line scalar maximum width hint. Yeah, maybe like this. Multi-line scalar maximum width hint. The maximum width of a scalar line within multi-line strings. It is a hint only, and if too small, some scalar lines might end up with greater width than the specified here. This value affects folded block literals, as well as what's the other type? The flow, as well as flow scalars in any mode, e.g. quoted, plain. Yeah, so that kind of could be it, huh? I'm not sure if this is wise to do it, but at least, you know, we can always break it down or split this up into multiple hints if we like. Let's look at that. Yeah. So that clearly now is not folded mode anymore. How does it look like that? It's interesting that all of a sudden it doesn't use plain, the plain style anymore for the keys. I don't know why. That's so weird. That should totally be valid. It doesn't need to do that, because I do this all the time. I mean, to not include that. I don't know why where there's a side effect, you know? I call it a side effect that is unexpected, which is usually a bad thing to have in software, right? Totally so. Okay, how do I want it? I don't like that so much, so let's keep it, let's stick to none. It kind of looks interesting. and you might want to try to generate this just like that. And yeah, let's try a few other, now that we have a good test case here. Canonical. True. Let's see. Okay, that was that mode where it really gives you everything. And a special kind of style where we say, okay, this is the key now, which is a string, this is the value, which is a string, which is also good for, I think, complex data types that are keys. Yeah. Interesting. But no, we don't want that. And yeah, is there anything else? Yeah, there was this flow style. It's interesting. If you look at it, I think the way they use the terms is not exactly, it's not helpful at all. And the flow style, this relates to many things. Not only to, each of the things like sequences, mappings can have their own flow style. Also scalars have their own flow style. And this really is, I think that's a bad API. I can't say it differently. Now that I kind of know what's underneath all of that, I think that's not a good name. But hey, just my opinion, right? Doesn't matter. And I think it's a good thing because we might be able to effectively be better afterwards. And that's the whole idea, right? Make something and make it better. The ones who do something first, they usually don't do it as good as the ones who come afterwards. Good. And now the next thing would be to put that data structure into Rust. And what do we have here? And I think I would go for optional values. Pub struct log entry. Let's just drop this here for reference. And we want to serialize and deserialize this. Yeah, I would also go for deserialization, so we have to use real strings here. And time is not always there, so it's optional. User is always there. Fatal is not always there. Warning is not always there. Stack is not always there. So basically, oh no, date and time, it's different ones. Yeah. Considering I have to kind of put it into one data structure, and I'm not in a language that boils everything down to object, I think I would be best with a structure that has plenty of optionals here. User is the only thing that matches between these structures, or I use boxed values. I could also use boxed values that just implement serialize. Also possible. Totally possible. But then I don't know how to specify. Well, I do know how to specify my type. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's use boxed values and use two specialized structs to do that. Yeah. Let's try that. Log entry warning. So that has a, oh yeah. And we want to use serde rename as well. That should be supported, right? Is this mentioned here somewhere? Rename? Maybe in syntax it's specified. Is it mentioned here somewhere? Has there been some activity here? No, not recently. Yeah, where's syntax? Not here. All right. GitHub syntax. Because I think there was an example on how to rename stuff. I also have code that renames things. Oh no. There is not such a thing. Maybe hello world. Come on. No. Does nothing. Google RS has it. I think schema, rename. That's one. So it's serd rename, right? Like this. That's how it looks like. YAML. So we wanna do this. Let's go all in. So now we say, well, it's gonna be time, but it's serd rename, uppercase time, because that should also be supported. And actually, the first time I kind of try it with the syntax implementation, and that's gonna be a string. Oh, a string. Oh. User is a string, warning is a string. Everything is a string here. All right. Oh, and not to forget, we want to rename all of these guys to their uppercase variants. Warning. Yeah, and then the other one is the error struct, which has a more complex type here, log entry error. So it's time, it's date this time, actually lowercase. Date. User still the same. Fatal this time. Fatal. Fatal. And now the stack, which we also rename to uppercase stack. And this is a vector of, let's call it stack frame. Let's just call it stack frame. A vector of stack frame, we right now don't have any stack frames, but we shall have them in a moment. So here, interestingly, it's lowercase again, but who cares? Just an example. Stack frame, so no renaming necessary. We have file, which is a string. We have line, which is a U64, I guess, and code, which is a string. All right. So now we should be able to build such a beautiful structure, and I'm going with just a creator example new. Okay, so here we have it. So that's 28 new, which returns a new. Oh yeah, it returns a vector of boxed items. Why do we need to box it? Because of boxed serialized items. This is what we return. Do I have serd here? Not yet. But I should have access to this, right? Now I need it anyway. Use serd. And it's serd serialize, I think. I should have docs up here somewhere. Yeah. Serd serialize. This is the trait we need. And I think it also comes in on the top level. Yeah. So the serializer is the one who gets called, right? Yes. And the visitor basically in the serialized thing. You know, it's also kind of serializer, serialize. What's the difference? Do you remember? Do you know the difference? I always have to look it up, or I get it right by accident. So that's also something where you can probably improve the API. So serd serialize a vector of boxed serd serialize items. Yeah, like that. And type inference should do the rest for us in theory. And we'll see. So let's try to just build the first one. I have no idea how that works. So here we go with box new. And then we have a log entry warning that we initialize with all the values. So time is this one. Maybe I want to put this on the left side. Also to make compile testing a bit easier and actually possible. User, I think I remember that. It's add. And the warning is this one. Like that. Okay, so that could possibly work. Let's see if it does. Okay, it could generate the file. That's cool. But the testing then fails because of a syntax error. Maybe we have missed a comma here. We did. So it's interesting that this shows that the syntax stuff operates on a syntax tree. So it didn't really care that we had invalid syntax. It just looks for certain patterns and then inserts structures accordingly. Oh yeah. To string, to string, to string. How far did we get? Can I convert to a trade object because serialize is not object safe? What? How do you know that? Can you explain this? This never worked for me, but online you find explanations for this. Rust C E38. Six months ago. That's weird. Huh. That's all quite old, 2014. Object safety, where traits can be used to make trade objects. Currently, we allow any traits to be used for trade objects, but restrict the methods which can be called on such objects. Here we propose instead restricting which traits can be used to make objects. Okay. Despite being less flexible, this will make for better error messages, less surprising software evolution, and hopefully better design. The motivation of the proposed change is stronger due to the part of the DST changes. What was DST? They use it all the time and I always forget. Yeah. Ugh. Where is the documentation for this? I think it's in Rust somewhere. Wow, nearly 12,000 stars. Amazing. Could be one of the best projects out there. I think the biggest ones have like 25,000 stars. What's the project by? Explore. Stars. What's the biggest one? Most stars. Wow, free programming books, 40,000 stars. Docker 21, Reveal.js, Gulp, Rust. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, top 5. Not bad. Amazing. Git flow, really? 11,500? That's super good. But I digress. I actually wanted to find these error messages, and they might be here. Yeah. Oh. Does it mean there is no such diagnostic yet? Not here, but we are in some commit. librc diagnostics. So why are we always in some commit? Or is that the blob ID? Yeah, I think that should be the latest commit, huh? May 28th. Yeah, well, that's just not documented yet. Awesome. So the best thing we have is to look at this, because blah blah is not object safe. And why is that? Huh. Because there's no data underneath or something? Maybe that. But in my case, there definitely is data, I thought. Huh. So I can't box serialize the serialized trait. Weird. So how do I read this? Struct bar has lots of foos, statically allocated, borrows. Okay, just to borrow, a static borrow of a slice of statically borrowed quiz objects. So here it wants to have a trait object. And why is it not object safe? And what can I do about it? Probably nothing. Oh, shit. Well, and we are already like 55 minutes in. That's the second part of the session. And I guess I will have difficulty doing it that way. I could restyle or redesign this and just have lots of optionals here. I think that's one way to solve this. And in order to get done with it, I think that's how I should do it. Oh, man. Not object safe. Maybe it has to specify that T is sized or something to be object safe. Yeah, maybe there is also more about this on Stack Overflow. Let's search for the entire thing. Relatively old. Is, as the error message says, that the trait to impl is not object safe. That is, it is not safe to use that particular trait through a reference. Specifically, the do something method takes self by value. Consider how does the compiler call this method? Okay. So, but serde Where is this implementation? Sir, I think it's impulse, huh? Or mod. Yeah, so here is serialize. And why is this not object save? It just takes it by reference. There's nothing going on here. It wants a serializer, and the serializer also takes everything by reference. Of course, it's completely read-only. I don't know why that is not object safe. Yeah. Well, that's not my problem though. And here he takes it by reference. By reference, alright. So what's the problem here? Fun too. Okay, so that's an explicit type here. Maybe because of the self-error stuff, it's not object safe. Ah, I think now I get it. Because s-error is a type that is actually specific to s. So as serialize, yeah, because this one has a type in here. It's a generic method, and therefore we can't do this. Oh shit. Just for the error type. Okay, so this, yeah, now I get it. Makes sense. There's no common way to call this. And there's also, because the type parameter is not part of the type itself, the trait itself, there's no way to specify this here. So yeah, no boxes for me. Let's quickly do this. I think I call it as log entry now. And user we have already, and that the rest of the stuff we just put in here. Log entry. So fatal. Let's put it here. Date. Let's put it here. And this is an option. This is an option. 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 Warning is, I think, not used once. No wait, user is always used, huh? That was the point. User, yeah. So user is not optional. But the other things kind of are. Okay. Good. And now I just have to set it up. So time user, so date is none. User warning, fatal is none, and stack is none. Good, so now this should work without problems. Oh yeah, sure, we should also remove the box here. Oops, there we go. Soon. Log entry warning does not exist. That is true. So now it should do something. And then we can just add the values respectively. No. Oh, true. Now we have to sum it. Totally forgot. But now it will work. Not so much luck. Oh yeah, the user. Oh damn it, the user is actually not optional because it's always set. Yeah. Now it will work. Let's see. I shall already copy. Oh, there we go. Already copy this value and then use the new values. Add and then a different error message, which is a warning. Like that. And finally, the big guy. So time this time is none, but we have some date here, which shall be a string, toString, and add is still there. The warning is not there anymore. Now we have fatal. It's just, yeah. Some toString and the fatal error. We could use a raw string here just to be able to use these unescaped within the string. Nice. And now the stack. So stack is going to be some vector. Of stack frame instances. File is top class .py to string. Then line is 23 and code is a raw string of that. Like this and that. Cool. And it's a string. A heap allocated string. Cool, so that should be the first stack frame. Let's see if that compiles so far. I don't want to duplicate errors here. And yeah, then we have one bigger test finally. Oops, I think there might be a comma missing. Here we go. Let's see how far we get. Missing field, warning. What? I did indeed delete that. Warning? None. Interesting. Didn't realize that at all. And we are getting somewhere. Good. So the next stack frame shall conclude this. This is more class 58 and foo equals bar. Foo equals bar. All right, so that is that. Cool. Now we just have to use it. 28, oops. Structs. Example, where's example new, that one. And then we can just compare it to the example 28 and dump it in. Good, so obviously we will have to adjust things here, adjust options to make this work, but that would be the structure that I would expect to work for us. Pub. So maybe now this will work. Usually it tells you that this is private and you can't use it. So maybe indeed the name is wrong somehow. Structs data 1. No, in theory this should work. Yeah, it does. Cool. Awesome. Except for the fact that it fails, but that is kind of expected at this point. Everything fails. Man, we did it. We are at chapter 3 now. I've read a bit of this. I will have lunch now and keep reading this. In the meanwhile, this is worth a commit. Tests. More serialization tests. Many of these actually can't. Serialization tests, presentation, options. Oops. More SIR test, presentation, options. Ha, but that's not a problem. Here we go. So many of these actually can't work in serialization mode, but have been included to be useful in deserialization testing. Testing at some point later in time. Like so. What else? Plenty of serialization, of presentation details, options have been added. Yet I'd still be missing options to to specify how key scalars should be formatted. That's for sure. But besides that, not too bad. Added custom option constructor to produce options that would make YAML output look like JSON. Yeah, that's kind of what I did, I think. And yeah, also something we don't want to run tests on because right now nothing works. So let's skip CI to the point where it at least works locally, and then we try it on Travis. So from now on, skip CI is kind of what we want, or we disable Travis maybe for a while. Might be easier, huh? Let's see what we do. So let's push this guy. 9. And I must say thanks for watching. Have a great day and great lunch.